you can fill out. So thank you for your time. I don't know if anybody has anything, but appreciate you coming in and
Just list everything that you're requesting, and then we'll take that.
yep, and they're great to work with. You'll work through that with them for those things. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Can I don't mean to interrupt or anything, but if it's an ongoing investigation, I don't know if they can share everything until it's complete. Just to let you know.
As of right now, it's done.
Okay,
Our legal will know.
yeah.
Administration work through it. Anybody else for public input tonight? Okay, hearing none, we will hang out here until our board meeting at 7 o'clock. You're certainly welcome to sit in here with us, but we will not be conducting any board business or anything here. So thank you.
I'm gonna turn the mic off then.
don't typically get these in early February, I don't think, so, especially with no snow on the ground. So thank you for coming out. We will call the regular school board meeting Independent District 204 to order. We do have a quorum here tonight. Amy Olson is not able to make it tonight. She had something else planned previous. So with that, we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Flags behind you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Thanks, Angie. And a second? Thanks, Patrick. Any discussion, any changes anybody sees on the agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval of agenda, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. And we're on to communications, accommodations tonight. I think Ms. Carrier is going to kick this off, so thank you. The floor is yours.
Okay, well, I can start. That's no problem. While Caroline's getting that ready. I'm Jenny Carrier. I'm the Community Education Director here at the school. And gosh, 8 to 10 years ago, we started a program called 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten in collaboration with the Kasson Public Library. It's been a really neat program and a really big feat for little Comets to accomplish. About 170 have enrolled in the program over the years, and only about 45 have actually completed 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. So tonight, we get to call down Esme Schneider. Come on down. Hi, honey. So she's one of our youngest. Can you tell us how old you are?
So today I am this many.
Wow. She's 4 today. Okay, and who's your teacher?
Mrs. Hamlin.
All right. And is that in preschool? Yes, still in preschool. And what's your favorite book?
Pinkalicious.
Delicious. Well, you did an awesome job. Can I have a high five? And then I got some goodies for you. We have a special coin for you. And a certificate. And another book for you to read with Mom and Dad, okay? So you can stay down here for a picture if you want. And special thanks to Mom and Dad. We know it's a lot of work to read lots of books aloud to your child, so thank you.
One, two, three. Good smile.
Good evening, board and community. My name is Trent Langemo. I'm very proud to be the high school principal at Kasson, Mantorville. And it is the time of the month to honor the January Students of the Month. 4 students, each month, 1 from each grade level, is honored, chosen by staff for being responsible for themselves and others, positive role models, helping others in need, and progressing academically. What a fine group we have this month. Please come down one at a time and then stay down for a picture. 9th grade, Joseph Foley. 10th grader Maxon Hall. Junior Olivia Bell-Richard. And senior, come on down while I read your biography, Aubrey Dirks. KM High School, Student of the Month, Senior Aubrey Dirks. Always treat people with respect is Aubrey's philosophy that has helped her be successful personally and in school. Aubrey feels you can have fun with people while still being respectful. She's always had good relationships and believes this is because when you treat people well, they do the same. Aubrey's hobbies are clay work, reading online, playing with her dog, and learning new things, and she also enjoys puzzles. Aubrey is employed at Shields as a cashier and customer services. She enjoys customer service work more than she thought she would. The following school activities keep Aubrey busy: Link Crew, Knowledge Bowl, basketball, senior class officers, Minnesota Honor Society, Stars, and Dungeons and Dragons. Outside of school, Aubrey's busy with softball, Instruments of Praise, and youth board. And after graduation, she plans to attend Creighton University in Omaha, Nebraska, majoring in biochemistry. At the moment, she's planning to get a doctorate in pharmacology. 10 years from now, she hopes to be working as a pharmacologist. Congratulations, Aubrey Dirks, and all of the students of the month for January.
Now we're set. Here we go, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.
All right, good evening. I've got a couple comic coins as well to a couple more deserving seniors. Each year, the Minnesota State High School League awards students with an award called the AAA, which stands for excellence in academics, the arts, fine arts of many different sorts, and athletics. These two students, it was a tremendous group of applicants, and so these two are very deserving. We have an amazing senior class, and it was very tough to decide. So these two are involved in various things in the fine arts, as visual arts, band and choir, honor band, honor choir. They're a little bit of everything in the arts and do an amazing job, as well as drama. And also athletically, golf, track and field for Mackenzie, cross country for Colin, and amazingly with all these things that they do outside of the 8 to 3 school day, they still keep a very, very high GPA. So our two seniors that were nominated, a male and a female for Kasson Mantorville, are Cullen Sancher and Mackenzie Holtz. Come on.
Everybody stop. Let's play a little. Big smiles. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Well, that does it for comic accommodations. If you came for comic accommodations and not for the entertainment following it, you're certainly welcome to leave, or you can stay around. We do have, right away on the board, we do have our student board representatives reports, followed by the community education PLC presentation. So we've got a couple exciting things if you want to stay around. But we'll start with Abby and Sydney. Thank you, ladies, for showing up.
Thank you for having us. Good evening, school board. It's been a very busy month and first few weeks of the second semester. And first tonight, we have our sports update.
So first for girls hockey, we had our last regular season game on Saturday. We ended 19-4 on the season and we got the 1 seed for playoffs. So we'll host the winner of Winona and Waseca this Saturday at 7 p.m. And then boys hockey is currently 15-6. They have 4 games left this season, 2 at home this week, which are Tuesday and Saturday.
Girls basketball is 10-10 and their first playoff game is February 28th. And then boys basketball is 7-12 and they had a really great win against Elberly last week. And then our dance team has been working really hard to rebuild and strengthen their young team, and their sections start this Saturday, February 10th.
Wrestling won their last meet against Cannon Falls on Tuesday last week. Next meet is this Thursday at Stewartville. Gymnastics had a meet versus Byron last Friday, celebrating senior night and supporting Comets versus Cancer. And then for music, our high school will be hosting an HBL clinic this Wednesday. Byron, Stewartville, and Lourdes will also be coming. And then 9th through 12th grade will be performing and working with a clinician from Carleton.
And then for choir, it's very similar to band, except they're going to Stewartville on February 14th for the HBL clinic and will work with clinicians to perform and improve on their spring program pieces.
And then for a little about Comet versus Cancer, Callie Richards is the student coordinator organizing Comets versus Cancer events on behalf of FCCLA. We had an assembly during Bridge on January 23rd where we had a guest speaker, Heidi Du Bois, come in and share with us her personal experience with cancer. We had our 3-on-3 basketball tournament on the 24th and 25th of January. The Jelly Fam were the winners, and they will play the teachers during the Snow Week Pep Fest during the week of March 3rd. The teachers that'll be playing will be Mr. Piney, Mr. Brownell-Camp, Mr. Bolt, Mrs. W, and Mrs. Borden. Girls basketball, boys basketball, dance, wrestling, and gymnastics are all participating in raising money for Comets versus Cancer. Silent auctions will be at all of those except gymnastics, which they will have a 76-second drill to represent that every 76 seconds someone dies of cancer. This is the first year in a while that gymnastics has participated. Wrestling is also going to be doing a bake sale to raise money. There's also t-shirt sales, and the last day to order is this Wednesday. And then these sports are working really hard to raise money for Dodge County Relay for Life, and we've raised about $4,000 so far.
Our knowledgeable team had a meet on Wednesday of last week, and they had lots of success at this meet with multiple teams in the top 10. And I'm pretty sure one team placed first as well. And then these teams will be going to sub-regionals with the hopes of going to regionals and then state. And our student council here at the high school is starting to organize an equipment drive. So there's this doctor from Mayo Clinic who came in contact with Mr. Arneson to help set up this sports equipment drive, and he personally boxes and takes the equipment to kids in the Dominican Republic. And we know that all items will be being delivered because he does this a lot, and he's from the Dominican Republic originally, so he really likes to give back to his community. So we will be collecting sports equipment during Snow Week, March 4th through the 8th, and kids from Student Council will present a short slideshow during Bridge.
Snow Week will be March 4th through the 8th. The dress-up days aren't finalized yet, but they include some fun ones like dress as a teacher day at the high school. And then we will be also having the usual Snow Week coronation on the Friday of that week, along with a dance later that night.
And we have also begun planning for prom with our prom planning committee. So they have begun meeting weekly to prepare for the busy prom season ahead. And some things discussed at the meetings include a lot of details surrounding the theme, as well as planning for a post-prom again this year. And that is all we have for this month. So thank you for having us, and any questions?
Quick question, couple of quick questions. Prom and post-prom, do you have dates? Did I miss that? Did you say the date? Yeah,
I think the date this year is going to be May 4th.
May 4th.
I'm sure, yeah.
Very good. And are you, post-prom, is it gonna be held at the same, don't remember the location out by old Shopko up north? Is that where post-prom is gonna be this year?
Yeah, we had it at Chip Shots last year, and we had a lot of really good feedback on that. So I'm pretty sure that's where we're planning on having it again this year.
You know, are you helping out again, Angie? Okay. The only other thing, so are the students excited about no snow, or they're disappointed because no snow days?
I honestly, personally, I'm more excited because it feels like spring and I actually get to see the sun. There's no like seasonal depression.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of both because snow days are nice, but I like the sun a lot.
Mr. Thompson, I think he's waiting for more snow days, aren't you?
No, last time we were in the cities and we had to call. So, yeah, we'll just go without them. We'll just keep this 50-degree weather.
Yeah.
Any other questions for these ladies before we let them go?
I just had one question. Which teachers are you gonna dress up like?
Mr. Arneson.
Yeah, for sure, Mr.
I'm sure he's excited. Nobody like Mr. Bolt? Usually he gets the Mr. Bolt ones.
I'm sure someone will.
Anything else? Otherwise, we'll let them go home and catch up on a little bit of their studies, probably that they've been neglecting for activities. So, thank you, ladies. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and who has to follow that but the PLC for community education? I get it, you're right, and the elementary school, sorry, I saw the CE first.
So we took a different approach this year, knowing how busy everybody is. And so you, Carlin can just push us through. But each PLC recorded a little video about what's going on. Right, this is live. Right,
Ready?
we're ready.
All right.
Director at Kasson to Mantorville Schools. A little bit about our KNCE and KN.
Does it help if you started at the beginning? If it's loading and then. Oh, go back and start. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Jenny Carrier, Community Education Director at Kasson Mantorville Schools. I'm super excited to talk to you a little bit about our KNCE and KNES PLC. I'll start off with the Community Education PLCs. We Hello, I'm Jenny Carrier, the Community Education Director at Kasson Mantorville Schools. I'm super excited to talk to you a little bit about our KMCE and KMES PLC. I'll start off with the Community Education PLCs. We have two. So one is our School Readiness Program, which is our preschool programming and academic preparation for kindergarten. And our other PLC is our Child Care PLC, which is providing childcare services from 6:15 a.m. to 6 p.m. for families within the community. And that is from birth all the way up through school age. So all children are.
Sorry, guys. It works fine for us, so I don't know why.
No, and I apologize too, we're
Well-
in my office, but I don't know.
Let's move through, and if it buffers and catches everything up, then we'll come back, and if you're all right with that. What I'm not sure about is, well, we don't have that long of an agenda, so it won't be that long. Okay. I didn't want to hold you, everybody here was what I was thinking, but sorry, you're gonna get held here for a little bit here, so sorry about that. Let's move on to 3.4, the resolution for the acceptance of gifts and grants of $35,519.30. Ms. Richards, would you take us through
I,
that?
Angie Richards, introduced the following resolution to accept and move for its adoption. Resolution for acceptance of grants and gifts. Whereas Carl and Sylvia Rolfs has generously offered to donate $1,225 to the KM Drama Department for mic rental. Whereas Cinemagic Hollywood 12 Theater has generously offered to donate 4 movie tickets valued at $32 to the KMHS Hope Ambassador Mental Health Awareness Club for a prize basket. Whereas Dodge County Expo has generously offered to donate $250 to KM Schools for volunteer help in the weight room. Whereas KM Baseball has generously offered to donate $1,079.50 for baseball play and home plate. Whereas KMFFA alumni have generously offered to donate $1,703.52 for hotel rooms at the National Convention. Whereas the KM Girls Softball Booster Club has generously offered to donate $4,139.48 for play and first base on the softball fields. Whereas KM Youth Basketball has generously offered to donate $15,931.50 for girls basketball backpacks, coaching clinic reimbursement, huddle, and assistant coach stipends, as well as boys basketball, team meals, coach backpacks, huddle, and assistant coach stipends, basketballs, and ball bags. Whereas Kasson Mantorville Girls Softball Association has generously offered to donate $3,899.98 for batting cage nets. Whereas KMT Gymnastics has generously offered to donate $4,005.32 for gymnastics uniforms. Whereas Crystal Weigel has generously offered to donate $200 in school supplies to Comet Pantry. Whereas KVBC has generously offered to donate $1,953 to KM Schools for a volleyball net system upgrade in the South Gym. Whereas Presbyterian Women's Group has generously offered to donate $300 in food and hygiene products to the Comet Pantry. Whereas Richard and Martha Buckwalter have generously offered to donate $300 to KMFFA. Whereas Philip and Cheryl Scholler have generously offered to donate $100 for a liminal Comet sponsorship. And whereas Michael Solon has generously offered to donate $400 to KMHS toward the purchase of library books.
Thanks for that motion, Angie. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Kate. Any discussion on that? Again, incredible investment in our district from our community. And I see Carl and Sylvia will also point them out because it seems like on a regular basis they're volunteering and at the same time donating funds to the drama and music departments here. So special thanks to them for their continued and ongoing support. So we have that motion second. Anything else? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval of the resolution for the acceptance of gifts and grants, state aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. And with that, we are on to board committee reports. The first one is a new committee. It's a rotating committee that will be each of the committees will rotate through what's called the Public Input and Response Committee. And that will be at 6 o'clock and typically an hour before the regular school board meetings on a monthly basis. Tonight, Patrick Mediri, Mark Torkelson, and myself sat on that committee. There was a parent who addressed the Public Input Committee tonight, and that concern is being worked with the superintendent and the admin team at this time. They're working through that issue. So that was the only public input we had tonight. Any questions on that?
I have a question, not specifically about tonight's, but we had discussed it before. Did we agree on committees rotating through or just individuals?
I think we talked about each committee would take so land and facilities and personnel and finance. And
okay, that's what I was
but if somebody is unable to attend one of those, we'll have to have somebody fill in for those. But that was the intent, was to rotate through those, I believe, from the board. So next, it would be land and facilities next if we just walk through the list, and then personnel and finance and policy, student activities would be those committees. So anything else on public input? Okay, then land and facilities has not met since our last meeting. Anything for land and facilities? Okay, and personnel has not met. Anything, Mr. Torkelson?
Yes, we did a general C meeting, the last official C meeting on Friday. We had a couple of guest speakers. The one that really stuck out was Loris Olson. It's called Mr. Minnesota. And I didn't know who he was before, but he's known for his ability to read the mood of state's residents and the political dynamics and economic trends in Minnesota. So it was a pretty interesting speaker. I think they've done a really good job of inviting people to do that. The big thing on the agenda was to review and approve our new name and logo. I think Carlin had something she can stick up on the board there. So that's going to be our new logo that we voted for. And the name is, of course, going to be schools advocating for fair funding. And then kind of our little promo sheet for the fort is up there also. So this is our vision. You guys need that. And then kind of breaks down our organization, how we're going to organize leadership. Let me know. And then we also have the Capitol visit coming up. March 11th is our slot. So if anybody's interested in going, get to spend the day with me. Hey. And that should be it.
Thanks, Mark. Okay, any questions there? Then we'll move on to finance. Finance has not met. Any questions on finance? Okay, then policy, and Ms. Olson isn't here tonight. Anything for, I know they haven't met though. Any policy? Okay, then we have student activities, has not met.
Student activities has not met, but student activities I attended the student wellness committee meeting in January, and so I was just going to give an overview of that. So student wellness committee is made up of a district team, elementary team, middle school, high school, and community ed. So it covers all areas of the district, and it includes both staff as well as parents and school board members. So the agenda for January, they talked through our wellness data report. They also talked about the high school Hope Ambassadors program, which was mentioned tonight in our gifts and grants. It's a new student club for mental health awareness, and it has adult oversight, but it really is about student-led and student training for students helping peers. And so I'm excited to see that grow here in the community or within our district and allow that to be a new club for student activation. The student wellness data report was presented, and then Mr. Larson led us through an activity where we had posters and bullet points up around the room. And so we went and we were able to do kind of a deep dive into the questions that were posed. And then I guess if he wants to take it, he can talk a little bit more about what data was, information was collected, and then what the next steps are with that.
Absolutely. So we had 4 posters throughout, and each of those posters really defines the 4 things that we look at in the student wellness. And that's positive behavior, bullying prevention, social emotional learning, and school culture. And so each group had our parent reps there, had our staff, had our counselors, and we worked through, did a deep dive of, what's working well within the middle school in regards to positive student behavior. What are some things that ought to be? What are some things that we strive for? And so each building then will take that data, and we've broken it down into what are the things that we're doing well that we need to continue, but what are some things that we need to look at, to analyze a little bit deeper, and focus our efforts on to ensure that we're meeting our students where they're at, but also reinforcing the expectations that we want to see within our buildings. And so that is our next steps, but appreciated just the comments from parents and staff around how we support our students. So.
Thank you, Angie. Okay, moving on, we have Zed. I don't know if Dr. Thompson, if the superintendents met on that. There was a meeting, we'll catch that up next week if you don't have any, or next month, I'm sorry, if we don't have any. Okay.
Did they have a meeting outside of their org meeting?
On the 21st?
Okay.
They have one on the 21st, so we'll catch up next time. Okay, so then community education, anything from community education? Okay, and then one last thing, and I don't know if we want to put you on the spot, but I know Kate had mentioned a little bit about her experience at MSBA training, and I wanted to give her an opportunity to share with the board, and I'm kind of putting her on the spot because I don't think I shared with her that.
No, that's okay. I came prepared. So I went to the MSBA Leadership Conference, January 11th to 12th, and I gave you all a little postcard. One of the people there are the architects that had developed the plan and implemented it for our high school, and it was actually what they were using to promote all of their services. So I got greedy and took enough to share with our board because I think that's something to be proud of. I learned so much. I got to see Ariana right there and meet some of her board members. And then I just did a brief overview to share with the team. There was a ton of classes to go to. It was impossible to make all of them, but the keynote speakers were incredible. They talked a lot about computer science and how it needs attention in Minnesota. Nationally, only 57.5% of high schools offer computer science courses, and that's not evenly distributed. In Minnesota, we are below the national average. We only have 28% of high schools that offer a computer science course, and one of them is our high school, and I learned that Ashley Kaplan was actually a big part of that. Of course, I got to sit right by Ariana, so she kept whispering in my ear about the cool things that tie Kasson Mantorville. So I think that's just one of the ways that our district continues to be premier and ahead of the game. 7,384 jobs a month go unfilled in computer science, and the average salary is $105,311 per year. Which is incredible. These days too, the world's getting smaller as it has been. So to have a job with a big tech company on the coast, you don't necessarily have to live in those areas. So all the states are kind of competing to prepare their students to be able to compete for these very well-paid jobs. So right now, Minnesota does have a plan. There's a 2023 Computer Science Advancement Act where they have $1 million for teachers to get more certified to teach these courses. There's now a full-time computer science position at the Minnesota Department of Education. There's a working group to improve Minnesota statistics. There's advocates all over the state, MSBA, and a bunch of executives who need positions filled, college faculty, students, parents, and teachers. The goal of this investment, this plan, is to make computer science a graduation requirement, regardless if the student goes into a computer science career. One of the other things it talked about is AI as a superpower and how the district and the curriculum need to adapt, because AI can complete certain homework tasks. But there's ways to leverage AI to teach relevant technology skills like collaboration with a team and real world problem solving. So in a way, making it something they utilize and not something that answers a question for them, for a student. I went to a couple referendum classes. They talked about concise language, values and priorities, talked about individual needing to hear something at least 7 times before taking action. Eden Prairie had a really cool like pass out here about their referendum and what they use to communicate. So I can pass these around for everyone to see. I also have some stuff if you're interested. I can just email some of the presentations, but they made magnets for their school buses, offered childcare at night, did some things to ensure that their community members were able to go and hear the messaging they wanted to share. One other session I went to, it was about clean energy and how there's $5 billion right now to try electric school buses. It was presented by a doctor and Excel Energy. They talked about health benefit, diesel exhaust. There's multiple public health studies about diesel exhaust. And there's many school buses already throughout the Midwest. Michigan has 138 buses. Illinois has 124, Wisconsin 65, Iowa 29, South Dakota 7, and Minnesota right now only has 4 buses. But they talked about the funding, the federal and state funding that there is to implement this and what it looks like. They talked about overall benefits, low maintenance costs on electric buses. Some districts that have put in electric bus options, they open the chargers to community members so they can increase revenue. So other individuals can charge electric vehicles at their site. Then I went to a class that was awesome. It was basically about leaving your business manager alone. It was great. So that was presented by Carrie June-Tuen, the superintendent at Proctor Public Schools, and then Cindy Lee Olson. Does that sound familiar? Are you? Yeah. Okay, executive director of Arrowhead Regional Computing Consortium and the president of the Minnesota Association of School Business. They talked about how complex school finances are, how it's always fluid. Students are counted differently in enrollment based on if they live in the district, if they live outside of the district, if they open enroll. And then of course our revenue is different. It comes from different areas, federal, state, and local. It talked about all the different types of fund balances, non-restricted, restricted, committed, assigned, unassigned. It was a lot. It was a lot to take in, but the main message from this was it is complex and we need to allow our business manager time, uninterrupted time, because when they get into developing things or reviewing things or looking over their stuff and they get interrupted, it's very hard to go back into that project and start where they left off. They oftentimes have to repeat stuff they've already looked through. So it was very insightful. It talked about statutory operating risk and operating debt, which I didn't know it was negative 2.5% when your budget hits that. And then the state will require a plan to get out within 2 years. So they talked about some of the risks with that. They also talked about fiscal mismanagement at the other end. There was a Minnesota district that had a fund balance of 73.71%. And so, yeah, that's really high, so you're not using the funding appropriately for the things you could be providing to the district. One thing I learned from Hutchinson, a Hutchinson school board member, talked about they have a fund balance of 28%, and in their policy, it delineates what they will do and in what order if it drops below that, which I thought that was a very strong policy to consider that.
If it drops below 28%.
Yep. So in what order, what they will be doing to remedy it. It's basically just delineated in their policy. There was a story about a cyber attack, which cost the district $85,000. Yeah, and then the main message I haven't kept says, leave Bob alone. We appreciate you, Bob, so much. Some other classes I got to go to was one on a board self-evaluation, which sounded really cool. It's 10 to 15 minutes, 72 questions. It's completely online, 100% confidential, and then MSPA gives an overview report. That helps the board understand team strengths and growth areas, and then that information helps us develop goals. There's also another option, which is a deeper dive, which is it sounded like the workshop that we went through a few months prior. So, and then I went to another one, a separate one on a superintendent evaluation. They recommended establishing goals and standards and scheduling a mid-year evaluation and an end-of-the-year evaluation. The evaluations are conducted in closed sessions, and then the school board chair summarizes them at the next open meeting. So I thought that was really interesting too. There was a ton of other classes on like different legislative groups, legislative terminology. A lot of attorneys were there talking about legal and interesting stuff like that. So I just really enjoyed it. I was overwhelmed with the amount of information that was provided, and I'm hoping more people can come with next year. I plan on going again. It was wonderful. So, and I got to see Dr. Thompson there playing dual roles. And then, oh yeah, the last thing I was going to touch on, I went through the School of Excellence showcase, which was incredible. I actually got to drive one of their robots that they compete with, which was very fun. And I got to stop by and see Byron Middle School. They had their design studio there. So they did some cool crafty stuff on site. So that was the gist of this very short conference, but packed full.
Very good. Thank you, Kate, for running us through that. Any questions for Kate on that? No? Thank you again. Okay, I think we're done with board reports, and we're on to administrative board reports. Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Hello, I'm Jenny Carrier, the Community Education Director at Kasson Mantorville Schools. I'm super excited to talk to you a little bit about our KMCE and KMES PLC. I'll start off with the Community Education PLCs. We have two. So one is our School Readiness Program, which is our preschool programming and academic preparation for kindergarten. And our other PLC is our Child Care PLC, which is providing childcare services from 6:15 a.m. to 6 p.m. for families within the community. And that is from birth all the way up through school age. So all children are involved in that program. I also want to talk to you about a few of the resources.
Yep. What time?
Yeah, let's give that a shot. If not, we all have homework here at the board, right? If you haven't had a chance to see it yet. So.
Hello, I'm Jenny Carrier, the Community Education Director at Kasson Mantorville Schools. I'm super excited to talk to you a little bit about our KMCE and KMES PLC. I'll start off with the community education PLCs. We have two. So one is our school readiness program, which is our preschool programming and academic preparation for kindergarten. And our other PLC is our childcare PLC, which is providing childcare services from 6:15 a.m. to 6 p.m. for families within the community. And that is from birth all the way up through school age. So all children are involved in that program. I also want to talk to you about a few of the resources we're using in our PLC this year. We're super excited to share with you 3 of the main ones we're using. The first one is part of the engagement strategies and inclusion training we went to this summer. This inclusion training was super inspiring for our staff, and we went through several different training modules and pieces, and part of it was just sharing different strategies we can use in the classroom to solidify routines and strategies we can use for inclusion, along with tools that we can do to help with roles and responsibilities within the classroom. So we've been using those in our PLC practice as we write them out to really streamline our instruction and align it, which has been excellent. The other piece to our PLC has been our Love and Logic training. So we were able to do a huge staff training in October, and since then, just using those strategies have been excellent for us in the classroom. It's basically a classroom model to help give children a chance that allows them to grow from their own mistakes and help them understand that their choices have consequences, and that sharing that control, so it's not all on the teacher, but really keeping that power as the teacher, but giving the consequence to the student. So this has been a nice tool showing empathy, but also delivering the consequence, as well as building some self-concepts for the students. So that's also another great tool. And one of my favorites is this teapot model. So the teapot instructional tool is based off of the pyramid observation. And this has been really helpful for us as educators for look-fors in the classroom, things that we want teachers to be doing. It helps them give them strategies for challenging behaviors and promoting that social emotional competence in children. This tool is also super helpful for teachers so that they can figure out where their strengths are and where some of the areas that they might need improvement or need more training on. So we've used that within the classroom. So I'll let you follow along in the presentation to learn more about our PLCs.
Good evening, Emily Hansen here. I am a school readiness teacher. I'm the school readiness coordinator, and I am lucky to be our PLC leader this year. I'm going to talk about my beautiful slide here for a couple minutes. Our PLC goal for preschool is that 75% of our students will be ready for kindergarten as measured by our core assessment tool. That means 75% of our children will be scoring an average of 4 by the end of our school year in May of 2024. Why not 100%, you ask? Because not all of our students move on to kindergarten after just 1 year of preschool. In our PLC, we are working towards this goal by using several types of curriculum. They involve Heggerty, Seeds, Learning Without Tears, SMART, Second Step, and we use PBIS as well to help reach those goals. Our core assessment that we are using this tool, it has 8 categories and 34 domains, meaning that if we have 34 kids, we have 2 periods, and that means we are doing 68 documented observations per child. That means per period, per 2 classes, that is 2,312 observations. And by the end of the year, that is a total of 4,624 observations that we have done as teachers on our classes. It's a lot of work, as you can imagine. And during our PLC time, we are able to support each other, work on better how to make every moment intentional in our teaching so that we are able to get all 4,600 of those documented observations entered in. We are also working on some tools that I got from a workshop last summer about inclusion, the routines and embedded instruction form and a teacher expectation form. These have been very helpful tools to work on and implement in our classrooms so that we have laid out every part of our day to ensure that we are intentionally teaching in every moment that we possibly can, and each teacher in that room knows their role. It's amazing. I really like it. It's really helpful when we have to have somebody step in our room into a different role, and they can clearly see then what the goals, what are the expectations, and what their job is for the day. Thank you for your time, and have a great night.
I'm Lauren Asprey, our telco coordinator, and I'm really excited for the intentional work that our lead teachers have been doing this year. We currently have 42 infants and toddlers enrolled, 87 preschoolers, and 186 school age. Our goal this year is to flip our behavior responses and to focus on the positives with 500 entries. This can be anything from a stamp on a student's hand immediately after a positive choice, as well as notes home to parents in our parent communication platform, or also a note home such as a kind comment postcard. We're really focusing on those basic student needs and building on those foundations. We are also implementing, as of the new year, EC Swiss, which is a data tracking system, which is all helping us narrow down different areas and points of interest in creating individual action plans with our students who may be struggling a little bit more than others. So we're really excited for the work and just the big things that are continuing to happen as we move into 2024.
Hi, at the elementary school, we are working on standards-based grading, structured literacy, and building a positive climate and culture.
Our goals at the elementary level with PLCs this year are focused on improving our school culture and, as always, improving the academic outcomes for our students.
In kindergarten, we are fortunate to get to see the growth and development of the earliest learners. Social emotional learning is at the foundation of all that we do with our students. PLTW and SMART are our kiddos specials that they get to see every day. These curriculums empower the students to have a problem-solving mindset by working through activities, projects, and provide brain-stimulating activities. Media and sing-along are weekly specials that we work with specialists in the classroom teacher to make connections and authentic learning experiences. In kindergarten, we also have 2 unique classrooms of nature-based kindergartners, where their learning is taken outdoors for a fluid and play-based experience with senses, seasons, and the elements. We believe in giving all students the right tools to use, explore, and experience school with a balance of learning and play. Our goal is to have the students leaving each day talking about what they did, connecting with the natural world, and wanting to come back each morning.
Hi, I'm Alicia Moline, first grade teacher. Our first grade team has been working on social emotional learning, developing learning skills and friendship skills with our first graders, collecting meaningful data to drive instruction, using a variety of curriculum and science of reading strategies to help boost our students' reading skills, developing a deeper understanding of our math standards assessments and instruction, and using our Bridges curriculum to help them develop those important math skills, and our dive into standards-based grading as we report to parents and as we analyze student learning.
A number of things have been going well in second grade. Platooning. We've enjoyed getting to collaborate with our colleagues in a different way this year and to dig deeper into the data, both academically and socially, to help our students grow and learn. We've appreciated the time during PLCs to continue that collaboration with our literacy and math teams as we continue to develop our standards-based grading. And Engineering Day was a highlight for our students because they got to explore science in a different way and develop some of their creativity. It was a fun day for them.
Hello, my name is Drew Pockert, and I am the PLC leader for our 3rd and 4th grade math team. This year in our PLC, we have been taking a deeper dive into our standards-based report cards. Our team has been working hard this school year to align our standards with our Bridges curriculum. This has helped us determine what standards Bridges covers and what quarters different standards will appear on report cards starting next year. We have also been taking time during our PLCs to look at our Bridges assessments and which questions assess the standards we are teaching to our students. Our team is also looking at our assessments to determine if any of the standards need to have additional questions added to them to help gather evidence. The last thing that our team has been working on this year is creating a standards-based reporting document. Essentially, this would be a one-stop shop with all the information a new teacher to our teams would need pertaining to standards-based report cards. Our team is thankful for the time we've had this year and is excited to roll this out fully next school year.
Hi, my name is Sarah Link, and I'm the 3rd and 4th grade reading PLC leader. Something that we wanted to talk to you and share with you is the fact that we platoon. In 3rd and 4th grade, we platoon with a math teacher, and we split our day with that one math teacher, and our kids go for reading to us and then to the math teacher for math, and they get to split their time throughout the day. One thing that we've really enjoyed this year especially is with the READ Act coming, the 3rd and 4th grade teachers have been able to align our standards and work together as a unified team.
Our specialist team develops the whole child. Students build confidence and grit in art, select books to stretch their imagination, and spend time becoming internet aware in media. They are exposed to new rhythms and melodies to develop their literacy skills in music. They practice good sportsmanship and move their bodies intentionally to walk, run, skip, jump, throw, kick, and more in PE. And they experience STEM concepts and explore coding and engineering in PLTW.
Our special education team is having an exciting year. We have a new reading curriculum called PCI Reading that is supporting students who aren't responding to traditional reading intervention programs. Our setting 2 and 3 EBD teachers have started platooning between each other to best meet student needs. And our setting 1 LD teachers are splitting kids by abilities throughout the case managers to meet them where they're at. Our SLPs have started multiple AAC device trials for students with additional communication needs. We have really great paras who are always willing to jump in and help wherever needed, most specifically in our new para intervention program that is giving students extra doses of intervention where they need it.
Hi, PLC time is something that is super valuable to our teachers, and we want to thank the board for their continued support of this program so that we can give our teachers time to collaborate and grow as professionals every month.
Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, everyone. Questions for our PLC leaders that are here, or maybe for Ginny or Courtney on the presentation?
Jess and Jess over there too.
Yeah.
Just wondering if someone could talk a little bit more about platooning. I think we heard it multiple times in the presentation, and really tell us a little bit more about what it means for students, platooning, and how does it help you as staff members as well?
Yeah, so we've been platooning in 3rd and 4th grade for a few years now, and this is the first year we've added that into 2nd grade. Last year we had a pair of two teachers that kind of tried it out at 2nd grade to see, we weren't sure going younger if that was an appropriate choice, but went really well. So we added that to the rest of our 2nd grade team as well. And it's been powerful for our teachers to be able to focus in on that one content area versus trying to plan all instruction like our K1 teachers do all day long. But really get deeper into that content, especially when we get to those tested grades, and be able to specialize there. So they are focused hard and able to differentiate within kind of their team. So they really are focused instead of on 22 students, they've got closer to 40 that are kind of on their caseload as a math or a reading teacher, and are able to really think about the needs within that group more fluidly. They also then have been able to do more vertical alignment, 2nd through 4th, with a reading focus or a math focus to dig deeper and move quicker with getting understanding of those standards. So it's been a really good thing.
I have a question for Courtney. I noticed one of the slides, a goal was on the well-being of the staff. And I was just wondering, what have you been doing to reach that goal? And then also praise the
fact that that's a priority that's being communicated.
So they just hop in. Yeah, that's fun. We surveyed the staff at the beginning of the year, just to staff morale. How are we doing? What do we need to do better? And we weren't scored real well, but we found some really strong themes because we asked, what can we do better? And communication came up. Just like have fun actually came up a few times. So we had, we ran a Christmas drawing. Each week teachers could put their names in and win some mystery stockings, which was really fun. We put together, we brought back from pre-COVID, the fun committee came back, which seems like a really simple like a concept to think about having fun, but we had a chili cook-off a couple weeks ago that was pretty hotly contested. Sarah Link was the winner. Jake Schmidt argued it, so it was really big deal. But so we've been doing those type of things, but on top of that, Jess and I read a book over Christmas about the whole educator and what it takes, and we're actually super excited because we will be seeing Allison Asprey, who wrote the book this week when we go to MESWA. She's the keynote speaker, but it really talked about talking to your teachers and talking about vulnerability, talking about what can you handle, and then one of the things that had come up was we're split in our school. Some people think we communicate too much, some thought we weren't getting enough, some thought there were some other things to do. So we have really been mindful on our communication that every Friday, they get the Friday focus, the teachers do, that list all the stuff, and then on Mondays, we come back with the top 5 things you need to know for this week. But one of the most powerful things we've done for morale is every Monday, we send out a Monday check-in, and our question is, how big is your window? And we're really looking at the window is, you know, if you have room to open your window a little bit more, or is your window, is it as full as is it closed? There's no more space for anything else. But we've gotten really good feedback from teachers. It just kind of says things like, I'm doing great, I'm ready to go. Some say, I've got a lot on my plate, but I think I can handle it. And some say, can fill out, I need help right now. And then they can leave us a comment. We meet every Monday afternoon and we go through that quick survey and we kind of figure out who needs who to check in with them. And some of them, people have been open about things outside of school that are happening in their life. And then we know, we're like, okay, that person is full today. We can't dump anything on it. Through that, I've moved a few observations around. If it's come up to like, I've got a sick mom, I've got this, and this going on. Okay, you don't need this one other thing. So just being really mindful that they all have lives outside of school, I think was a really big thing that we've done. Anything else? We're now getting ready for our big Super Bowl competition. So that's bringing some more excitement. We're big into contests and giving things away. So that's what we do. But I don't know, is there anything else we've really done intentionally? Power hours have been a big one.
Yeah, power hours, giving teachers a little bit more time to dig deep into their data and their instruction and try to figure out, you know, what this data says about what I'm doing in my classroom and how to improve it. Whether that be literacy-based, math-based, or maybe classroom management-based. We also really try as a team to check in with our teams at least 3 times a week, just walk around the pod, give them a thumbs up or a, hey, do you just need a break for 5 seconds or 5 minutes, or you need to go home for an hour or whatever. And we jump in and we try to help people feel healthy and safe and supported in school so that they can be the best teachers for our kids.
So like the power hour, the one thing that we found out that came back was that data, when we look at it as a whole grade, it feels very overwhelming and you start to pick apart all the bad. But in these power hours, they've been able to focus on the good and the bad and how can we get everybody here. And everybody who's left is like either A, requested another one, or B, like these ladies or I am in a classroom and we're talking about what we did. So we're just really focusing on the whole teacher constantly in our building. We talk about it all the time, like healthy teachers, healthy kids.
Yeah, that is incredible to hear. And the benefits of that obviously are going to trickle down to our students. A lot of the legislative talk was taking care of teachers is taking care of students. I've also heard feedback from Power Hours that you guys have praised individual growth and that is really inspiring and motivating to our teachers. It's not just the overall big goal of 75%, but individually, you guys are meeting markers to reach that goal, and that's incredible.
How is the standards-based grading going so far this year? How's it going for staff? What is the feedback there? And then also, have you seen any, feedback from parents and stuff as well? Is there any?
Yeah, we realized in the fall when we were like ready to jump in that we were not really ready to jump in like we thought we might be. So it's been take a breath and take a little bit of a step back. That has felt good though, to dig a little deeper into our standards. We've made a few tweaks on the report card this year, so switched it to a 1, 2, 3. And are worked in the fall to really communicate that with families when that first report card went out, and offered opportunities for feedback and questions and got none. So that was mostly good, I think. And then our teachers have been working really hard on aligning their assessments piece. I think we had kind of gotten ahead of ourselves last year, really pushing hard on setting up a report card, but didn't have the back end in place to move forward with that report card. So we didn't have all of our assessments lined up to meet those report card kind of goals that we'd set for ourselves. So feeling much better about those right now, and our teams have phenomenal work already put in, and looking forward to the rest of the spring here to get that all kind of ironed out a little better so we are ready to keep moving.
We cannot talk about our hero Lindsay with our standards-based report card. She called in like August. She called Jess, my partner. She's like, "Hey, I work on your standards-based report card, and you have 5 master folders with master report cards, and they're all different. Which one do you want me to use?" And we went, "Oh." But Lindsay's been our hero. Like, we had to change it so many times and called her for changes and updates, and she just keeps going. So we feel like we're building a great product for our families and our kids. But she's our lady. When we have our crazy ideas of what we should do, somehow she makes it work. We don't know how. It just an hour later, she's like, "It's done." So
I feel like Lindsay might be a lot of people's hero.
Well, thank you. No, it's a big undertaking.
Yeah.
It's obviously a work in progress as well. And so I applaud you for, working through it. So.
Thank you.
I just wanted to comment, Jenny Carrier, Emily Hansen, describing how many observation hours they do is incredible. The time and energy put into actually being able to give documented feedback and knowing where a student is very impressive. That was very cool to hear.
Yeah, we intentionally tried to talk about that. Thank you for noticing that piece. The hours that this team puts in is phenomenal. It's a very different way of assessing students, so your brain has to think very different. And remember to catch those moments as you're seeing kids going through play and hitting those standards and hitting those pieces. So I'm very proud of them. And Jess Meeker has been very helpful with our new teachers. She's running a teacher academy for preschool teachers. So my newer ones have been getting that background and that continued support from her each month as well, because it's an undertaking. It's big. She did it last year. Yeah, it's overwhelming. And some teachers, Emily shared with you the bare minimum observation, 2 for each. Some teachers put 6, 10, 12 observations in, depending on what we need to see in order to get an accurate score. So it really is a lot of time. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot of training when you say, okay, when someone is in this dramatic play area, you're actually looking for language development, and you're looking for social skills, and you're looking for pre-writing, and you're also looking for math. So talking about how this one little space in time actually covers so many things. It's just like Jen said, a way to wrap your brain around that some people just haven't gotten to experience before. So thank you for noticing that it is a lot of work.
And the reason that the state pushed that way is because they found pulling preschoolers out and doing a one-time assessment isn't super reliable. So, you're just getting that little snapshot. So this way you're getting a much better scope of the student's actual knowledge of where they're at. We have a little guy right now. He will write his name beautifully one day, the next day, can't even identify it at all. So you just don't know. It depends on the day and how he's feeling and if he wants to do it or not. So that's what's been really helpful. In my board report I wrote, so I was able to pull a report. There were 4,016 student observations done in period 1. So it's a lot.
That's incredible. Just in and of itself it is, but then knowing that these teachers are multitasking with all of the other events happening at the exact same time.
You might see more of that coming down the pipe. The successful learner equation is something the state MD is pushing a little bit in the kindergarten. So it's really learning through play in a different form.
Cool. Thank you for sharing on that.
Any other comments? I did have, you mentioned, and Jenny, childcare. Can you talk about a little bit about what that looks like? I mean, we know 6:15 to 6 o'clock at night, that the work that goes in to have those kids progress even at that age. So just talk a little bit about that program.
Childcare is a beast in itself, I would say. I think the hardest part about childcare is the sustainability of making sure our staff are where they need to be. It does have a high turnover rate as well, not only just for us, and we're actually below the Minnesota and the national average, but it's really trying to make that quality experiences for kids throughout the entire day. And the hardest part is the transitions. You know, it's transitioning from mom and dad, then it's breakfast, then it's like trying to get to school readiness preschool class, then it's coming back and doing lunch, then it's transitioning to rest time, then it's transitioning after school outdoor play and all the big kids come back, you know, and then it's trying to like just transition through all those things. So we're working through a lot of big emotions, and that's the main focus of childcare, is really helping kids be able to manage those things. Self-regulate, remember to bring all my things, you know, how can you get through the day on your own without mom and dad, and so you are ready for kindergarten. So a lot of social emotional development. We try to use second step, which also our preschool teachers use, which is a curriculum, but I would say it's much more what's developmentally appropriate right now for each student. So each room has like an age that they're kind of working on those developmentally appropriate practices.
Thank you. And can you give me a rough number? I don't remember how many, was it 300 and how many students or how many kiddos?
Yeah.
Was it 3?
I can't remember either.
I don't. I can go back.
If we're just talking Project Kids, which is our preschool and school program, is 273. Project Beginnings is our infant toddler, and they're at 42.
Any other questions for anybody tonight?
I don't have a question. I just wanted to say that was such a cool way to present from you guys, and to collaborate together was awesome.
That's all. Thanks. We tried. Sorry, I didn't work right away.
Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for all your work. Please pass on to the staff. Thank you for all their work down there in the community education, elementary, and get them both. You have to have the right heart to work with those little ones. So thank you for having that and putting in the additional time that we know you've put in to make sure that they're progressing. By the way, you're welcome to leave. You can stay around. It'll be exciting, but you're certainly welcome to leave. Thanks for coming, guys.
Before they take off, I just want to say thank you too, but also I just wanted to certainly highlight Sarah Bailey, as she is our Minnesota Teacher of the Year candidate. And I had the experience to be in one of her classes, and it was just pure joy. And so thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and we are on to 3.6 administrative board reports. Do we have anything for administrators tonight?
I know it seems like it's kind of hidden in the middle of the community education report, but the inclusive playground equipment was installed. And so if you haven't had a chance to stop by the Community Ed Elementary School playground to see that, please do. I think it's such a cool addition to not only for our kids here, but for our community. It's down just a little bit further. It's right there. Oh, go back up. So it's kind of sandwiched right in the middle there. But the other really wonderful thing about that playground equipment is that the staff took it upon themselves to look for grants to cover it. So nearly the entire cost of that project was funded through grant writing. And so kudos to Community Ed for leading the charge in that direction.
Very good. Anything else tonight?
I just love the format of it. The content was excellent as always, but the bulleted conciseness was awesome. That was kind of a new change.
Trent, can you talk a little bit about the bridge time and the intervention time and stuff in the supplemental resource that you were talking about?
Similar to last year, we utilized 25 minutes to really push more, I guess, intervention work into reading and math. The difference this year is we're able to get more student service because we pushed more departments to teach intervention time. So social studies and science teachers are also doing math and reading intervention work during bridge. So that just means more slots available to get kids in. And check data at the beginning of the year, middle of the year, and end of the year, and WD stuff. NHC is coming up with those. Similar to last year, only a little bit more.
Other things for admin team today? It's a pretty quiet group. I think that's it. Thank you very much for coming out, guys. If you would like to stay, you're certainly welcome to stay. Otherwise, thanks for coming again. And with that, we're on to Dr. Thompson.
Just a few things here. First, obviously the contract approval with the teachers. Thanks to the finance committee for all your extra time and efforts. Appreciate that. And the retro checks, we're looking to try and get that in by mid-March, if possible. Also, different things as well. We're going to have Senator Carla Nelson in for our admin team meeting tomorrow. We'll talk with her and find out, you know, how the legislator's ticking, and also give her a few pieces of our mind in regards to ESST, unemployment, and some other different kinds of things that she needs to learn about and know as well. So that's important. We have testing will be starting up here in the very near future. We have an E-rate audit that's coming up here. Just a little thing is with the C meeting, Brandon Lindell will be retiring, and so Mark kind of talked about that as well. So that's another thing we'll be looking at as far as that's concerned. Obviously, Abby is very intent on winning in hockey. When she talked before the meeting here, she wants to get back at Albert Lee and Simley, and obviously they have to win those games to go to state as well. So she's really intent on that. Also, we have the bond rating call will be happening this week with Ehlers, so that's something that we're going to be working on as well. And I just want to say also that Lindsay's my hero too. That's me.
Anything for Dr. Thompson tonight? Wow, you get off the hook easy too.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow, okay. Okay, with that, we are on to the consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented? Thanks, Brandon. And a second? Thanks, Patrick. Any discussion of the consent agenda?
I just wanted to say congratulations to Jody Voss, and I see her retirement on there. And then also Drew Puckert and Heather Walsh, changing lanes and moving forward.
Very good. Yeah. Jody's been with us for a number of years, intricate part of a tremendous number of individuals' growth here. She's been, our kids had her and loved her, being a part of that. So we're sorely missed. Thank you to Jody. So, anything else? With that, all in favor of approval of consent agenda, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. And we're on to action items. So one piece of old business, we talked last meeting about the implementation of recording or live streaming school board meetings. Courtney put together what you have in front of you. I'm sorry, Lindsay, and kind of put together 3 options here. Do you want to talk to him just a little bit? Are you willing to? Yeah, if you would, that'd be great. You did all the work to put these 3 together.
Okay, so after the last meeting, Dr. Thompson had requested that I put together a couple of options for you. The 3 options that I put together took into consideration that sometimes your meetings are in this room and sometimes they are in the boardroom or in the district office boardroom. So knowing that you probably would need something that could be portable. The first option is live streaming with a Chromebook or a laptop with an external webcam that would pick up your video. And then I use the rate that Activities is currently paying their broadcasters, which is $25 per event. And then put the anticipated costs and some considerations for you to review. The second option is recording and then posting the meeting later the next day or that week. That would not require that somebody's sitting there and manning your computer while you are having a meeting. So you would save on that broadcasting fee to somebody. That would also require the purchase of a webcam. We do have a computer that we can use and dedicate for that. And then option 3 is purchasing a portable all-in-one streaming system. Does not require the computer. It would still require purchasing a camera and then a cable so you can integrate the audio. So that one would be harder to move to the boardroom just because there's not any mics in there right now. It's also not an ideal place to record because of the metal cabinets, the tile floor, the heating or AC unit on the sides, we get a lot of echo and a lot of feedback. Do you guys have questions for me on any of those?
Any questions on those that Lindsay can answer? We can have a conversation around it, but.
There's times when robotics will have a presentation, like out in the lobby, how would that?
I think we might need to do like, we could bring something out there, but it would not be, you get a lot of like feedback from having to move, take a little bit to put it back. It's not as portable as, because you have to bring your computer in. Or having just one device would be.
So one device would be option number 2.
Option number 2 is still that computer
and a video camera connected to it. There's not really an ideal system that you can move with you and continue to record at the same time. Did you have any recommendations for the recording, like whether we post it or where specifically to post it? So I would think that you'd post it on the school board webpage. And it would just be a link. Is it a link to like a YouTube video or? Yeah, it would be similar to how Activities is using it, and they have a YouTube channel and they would upload it. And sometimes they're not live streaming, it just kind of depends on where they are. Because sometimes like if you're at the softball field, you don't have super dependable Wi-Fi that you can stream, so they record and then post later or the next day. Awesome. Thank you for putting all of this together, by the way. This was nice.
Any other questions? Thank you, Lindsay.
Yeah.
You can stay or here or sit back there or whatever, but discuss it.
Lindsay, I just have one question. You just want to talk about a little bit about getting any equipment that we might need,
Oh, sure.
please?
So most of the equipment that I have linked on there comes either from Amazon or B&H, and their turnaround time is typically 3 to 7 days. So not too bad of a lead time. I haven't double checked the stock on these since I put this together. But I wouldn't anticipate that it would be out of anything. So I would say a week, and then we'd want to test it to make sure that we get all the kinks ironed out. But just a week to get everything and then to be able to test this. Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, so I guess I'll start this out. I'll start out with the motion, and that we record and post those within 2 business days to our website for our regular scheduled school board meetings. So I'll make that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Kate. Any other discussion?
Just to clarify, is that option 2?
Yeah,
On her
that would be,
sheet?
I think that's option 2 on there, leaving some room for her to make sure she gets it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of recording and uploading and posting regular school board meetings, state aye. Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Opposed, same sign. And the motion passes. So we'll have to give her time to put that together, and if you'd work with her, Dr. Thompson, to come up with something.
I would.
Okay, thank you. With that, we are on to new business. Approve the 2024 school board subcommittees. You have those in front of you. The only change that made was as negotiations have finished up and Patrick is the treasurer, I made that swap to Patrick to the finance committee, and then swap Brandon to Patrick's subcommittee there. So any questions on those? Okay, do we have a motion to approve the 2024 school board subcommittees? Thank you, and Angie, and a second. Okay, Patrick, thank you. Any questions on those? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval of 2024 School Board Subcommittee, say aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. And we're on to 5.2.2, approve the proposed ACT proctor date of Tuesday, April 9th, 2024. Do we have a motion to approve that? I'll make that motion that we approve the ACT proctor test date of April 4th. Do we have a second? I'm sorry, April 9th. 20. Thank you, Angie. Any discussion on that?
Can I just confirm what that means? So that is that juniors are in the high school taking the exam, and other students are taking pre-ACTs and
Or MCAs.
Or-
MCAs, and seniors are off. And seniors are off. Okay. Just making sure I
Thank
was
you.
remembering that correctly.
It's kind of test days with the teacher, with the seniors getting the day free. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Anything else? Hearing none, all those in favor of approval of the ACT proctor date, Tuesday, April 9th, 2024, say aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. And 5.2.3 is an annual consideration we make in this reduction resolution. Bob, I don't know, do you want to talk at all about this, Bob?
So it's pretty standard from what Ken said. It's something that we do each year. We talk with the administrators to, if there's things that can be reduced or adjusted, we always take a look at those things just to try to keep the budget in line with revenues and expenses. So that's, I don't think that we're actively looking for any reductions, but if there are things that can be done, we always try to implement those.
Perfect. Thank you, Bob.
I should have a question. At the end, it says, that the administration, the superintendent can consider the discontinuance of programs, and then make recommendations to the school board. Are these things that come to our board, or are these things that are just done?
So,
Yeah, we've set up a meeting date already when we're gonna talk a couple dates with the administrators and come back. And if there's some proposals, we'll bring them to the board, we'll approve them or not approve them. But without call, come to the board.
Okay, thank you.
Make a motion to approve the reduction resolution.
thank you, Angie, in a second. Thank you, Brandon. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of the resolution for reduction, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. And we're on to informational items. A number of meetings here as we work towards hiring a new superintendent. We have the special school board, a special school board meeting Tuesday, February 13th, also Tuesday, February 15th, 16th, and February 26th and 28th, all in the high school community forum room. And then we have a special board meeting March 4th at 6 p.m. Again, that is a meeting that we would use hopefully to hire a superintendent on that March 6th. So then the final meeting in March is March 25th. That is the regular school board meeting. With that, any questions on any of that?
The applications were due today.
I think at midnight.
Tonight, I believe. Yep. And then we should be getting feedback on those.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'd written down Wednesday on my calendar that we would receive them to start walking time to review.
Dr. Thompson, anything?
Yeah, I just want to go, did I miss 4.3 enrollment? Did we talk about
It's
that?
the consent agenda. So
Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure that people, looked, because it kind of has to do with budget stuff, and so far we're holding our own, and maybe even a little better, so that's very good. Plus, I talked to Mr. Langamo today, and there was only one student that did graduation early so far. So that's down considerably. So that will help us as well as we go into the future here. So those two things are kind of important as we always look to student enrollment when we look to these different kind of things, especially when we start talking about budget reductions and those kind of things. It's very healthy for us that we're 4 students above where we were in October.
What is our deadline for that? Is it usually the beginning of the fourth quarter?
For what?
For the.
Early grad.
Graduate.
Well, you can do it at the end of the second quarter, at the end of the third quarter, and then of course, in the fourth quarter. So I guess at the end of whatever the college our third quarter would be that time. So we'll give you an update then too.
So there would be one more opportunity for people to graduate early, and that is typically when we see the largest number of people do that. It's usually in the 20-something, if I remember right. What does it say? Oh, it does say. Okay. Anything else anybody would like to talk about tonight? Hearing none, I'll take a motion for adjournment. Patrick on the motion, Brandon on the second. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Means adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
You're welcome.
Betty, thanks for coming out.
Well, thank you.